Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. There's a 2012 Buick LaCrosse. That's got the big 2.4. It's the partial hybrid, half-breed looking unit thing here. Money lights on, and pretty common stuff here. I've done a couple of these, I think, throughout the past, but it throws the money light on because there's a code in the hybrid control module, which is part of the drive motor there that mounts to the front of the engine. And I believe the code is a P0A90 is the code. We can double check that. But essentially, it monitors the drive motor speed versus the crankshaft speed. And they run a 2.3 to 1 ratio. So the crank turns once, hybrid drive motor, starter, whatever you want to call it, turns 2.3 times faster. Anyhow, when there's a difference between 1,000 RPMs between the drive motor and the crankshaft, this code sets. And 99 times out of 100, that's from a faulty belt and belt tensioner. And this one is all original, so 2012. So it needs to be replaced. That'll resolve this code. I've never seen anything else but that. And typically the customers have the same complaint. Money lights on. But prior to that, you know, they go to take off from a stop sign or something, they hear a squeal, like a belt squeal. I took the car for a hot lap the other day when the lady stopped by with it. And yeah, sure as heck, you take off. And, you know, you hear the belt squawk, and you know, and that's that. So pretty common, pretty standard stuff. So let's see if we can do this and record it. I think we got to pull the air cleaner out. We got to take the engine mount off. I don't think it's that big a deal. I've got some parts from GM. So get after it, boys. So I just looked, yeah, the code number is a P0A90, Papa 0 Alpha Niner 0. In case you have that code. Now, I don't know if you can pull that code, because this is a generic code reader, because that code is in the hybrid module. And if I remember, I believe the hybrid module is part of that drive motor assembly. I think it's all one unit. I could be wrong with that. But the code that will be in the engine computer, if you're using a generic scan tool, is a P0AC4, so a Papa 0 Alpha Charlie 4. Which doesn't mean that it's, you know, the belt and tensioner. That just indicates that, hey, hybrid module has a code in it. Check me out. Let's go ahead and get this hose out of the way. So one hooker down here. We'll take and pop these clips off up here. I don't know if we can do it with the same tool. Probably not, because this guy can't see. Nope, not today. Round two. Hey, I can almost see. Good enough. There's that. Okay, now we have, what else do we have? That's plastic or something. Unhook this secondary air injection sucky hose, and I assume that's where that goes. I could be wrong. Whoops. Almost lost the lock. Think there's any bolts holding this in? I doubt it. Usually GM's good like this. Come on, baby. There it is. Baby is born. All right, now that it is out of our way, and make sure before we go meddling with stuff here, I don't want to go bend this that way. Things are a little bit cold this morning. It's often the case. I'm gonna unhook that bolt and just kind of get that out of the way, just for our viewership's sake. Well, maybe not here. Let's see. I just don't want to go breaking any plastic unnecessarily. Already had an incident yesterday. Okay. Let us undo the motor mount. And I'll go grab Mr. Mehoff, because we're going to need him to lift this engine up and get right after it. Piece of cake job, man. You know, someone asked me, and I think I've been asked this before, if I'm being honest, is what dictates whether or not I use a cordless tool or an air tool, because you guys know I'm a big fan of air tools. And I don't really have an answer for it. But for example, in this case, I have to walk around the vehicle that way, which means I have to step over the jack handle to go get a hose. Therefore, I walked that way to grab a cordless tool. So if you want to know my thought process, well, that was it. All right. But if you ask, do I prefer one over the other? Oh, absolutely. I 100% prefer air tools every time. All right. So for what it's worth, call me old-fashioned. Now let's grab something and get this belt off. Let's see, that just goes around just the crank, AC compressor, and then drive motor, starter generator, whatever you'd like to call it. I got my tool, my belt tensioner tool. Boink. Wasn't a lot of boink behind that one, was there? Just proves our theory. Just proves the theory. I see the lady here kind of sucks, but look, big old chunk. She's smoked. All right, you don't see drive belts get smoked too often. Could we put a drive belt on it and get away with it? Yeah, good possibility. You know, big chunks missing out of it. You ain't reusing this belt, old son, I'll tell you that. Anytime I do these, I always like doing a tensioner. More often than not, it's pretty well seized up. So, that's it. Let's get her unbolted here. There's one bolt. Not bad. There's 2 bolts. I believe we need a 10. Probably should look in service data as a reminder. It's been quite a while. Come on, fella. There's that little stopper doodad. Right, doesn't that need to come off? If I remember correctly. I believe so. I believe you need to take the little stopper off. But then again, what do I know? Huh? Don't answer that question. I can answer it for you. I don't know what I don't know. This is the 15 mil Astro razor wrench. It's been featured on the Tool of the Day video. You just have to be careful. Do not back it into a corner. There is no reverser. So when you're in a very tight spot like this. Hey, it's that guy. Mother of pearl. We're getting to the point it's making me nervous. I don't want to get it backed into the corner. So you periodically have to test your pull-out game to see, do you have enough room still? Yes, sir. Oh, we're getting close, dude. All right, still good. All right, I'm not gonna press my luck anymore. Try to give it a little twirl here. We're gonna have to go old-fashioned open-ended wrench. Wow, gosh. I don't even know that was still a thing. Let's see. We gotta be right on the edge of that thread. She's wiggling like it's almost ready. What kind of moron engineer did this thing? Let's go to the other side of the engine. I tell you, the level of stupidity that must go on inside the GM engineering team just never ceases to amaze me. Especially when you work on other manufacturers and see what they do. That is just so vastly different from General Motors. Come on down. There it is. There's your tensioner, your double tensioner. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Move this harness out of the way. And then we have to very carefully. What a bunch of mother friggers. Dude, if that bolt was literally 1/8 of an inch short, 1/8 of an inch. Because you got this dang wiring harness right smack in the middle of that bolt head. Just silly nonsense stuff. Okay. Enough whining, it's just a stupid bolt. Just put it in. Move on with your day, idiot. Thing is, we need to get it started. Punch. I think we got her, boys. I'm not saying all GM engineering is bad, but my golly, when you when you work on Hondas for a little while and just some stuff just makes you smile. Like, you know what? That was a well thought out design, or that was a well thought out idea with the intention of repair. Or perhaps it was probably to ease assembly more than anything. Well, I don't know. I can't really say that for sure. GM uses a lot of modular units where, like, yeah, on the assembly line, this was the bee's knees, as they say. But in real life, when it comes to, part replacement, not the bee's knees. Evidently, this is a one-time use fastener. Had to get a new one. So I don't know, but I mean, it is just night and day difference working on, like I say, Honda versus the GM, just at the engineering level. Some of the stuff they do where it's just, you just want to shake the guy's hand. And then there's other ones like this where you just want to put your hands around his neck and shake his neck. I don't know if that's a thing. Let's see, I believe that still pivots. Because that's usually where they're seized. Usually that pivot is seized right up, tight. Of course, they went and threaded this all the way in. Almost. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, the tensioner pivots. And then the other tensioner works like a regular tensioner. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a little snuggy-duggy. We'll come back and torque that in factory specs. Naturally. Just a little snuggie. Let me go grab the torque wrench to give you a glimpse of that bad boy sitting down in there. So tensioner, also a tensioner. Do not remove the cage until your belt is in place. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, not too bad, but yeah, it comes out. You got to watch this wiring harness right here. You can kind of slip her, come down here like this, pull her that way a bit, and you can just sneak that little fella out of there. I'm gonna thread the belt back around the crank, around the AC, up to the jiggly bits here, and around the starter generator hybrid drive motor. Got a belt here right from Chevrolet. There's that. The tensioner was awesome from Chevy. Oh, let me rip this tag off right here just a minute. Important information on that one. There's the part number for that little guy from Chevy, in case you need one. Of course, just call your local Chevy dealer and they will be happy to serve you, I'm sure. Oh, let's see, where's this drive belt from? China? All the way from China? Is that where it's from? Oh, Mexico. That's how you know it's genuine Chevrolet, folks. Apple pie, baseball, enchiladas. Now we need some kind of poking apparatus. We will use the driver of screwing. Out of my way. We have to get it past the crank ball. Ooh. We're cranking now. There's that, and then, wow, not real fun. We need to use the pokey tool. Kind of push it down there past the AC compressor, if we can. Come on, little fella. Don't use a sharp poking apparatus, folks. I'm just using it to gently guide and manipulate. Guide and manipulate. Pretty much how I landed Mrs. O. Slip it off that lower one. Bear with me, folks. First day on the job. Of course, our new belt has lots of memory. We need to go on the smooth pulley. Definitely the wrong size. Flip it around. Hitting her back with a 15. Sliding it right under there, ever so gently. All right, now let's do this. What a Polish way to do that. Oh gosh, somebody's gonna go nuts because I said Polish. Don't worry, my surname is Polish, so I think I get a pass. Isn't that what they call it? Snug that one up. Let me grab a 19. Wow, we really made a mess out of this thing. Really made a mess out of this thing, Rocco. That's gonna get stuck on there. Let's grab an ultra low profile 19 from Astro Tools. Hold that very gently like that for a moment. Woo! What kind of dog and pony show that we got going on here, boys? Take a little pressure off from it again. Alright, let me go grab my torque wrench, retorque everything I loosened. My God. Okay. I went ahead and torqued everything to factory spec. as you would expect. We're going to take a little pressure off that. Take that off, save that, because if for some reason, label it GM24 drive motor tensioner holder thingy, because if, oh, we didn't have to pull the pressure off it. If for some reason you had to back the tension off one of these units and you were going to reuse it, we'll say, you're going to need that tool to hold it, because otherwise it is a son of a mother to get that thing on and off. Now, we're going to stick our little stoppy stop back in here. It does line up with a hole in the block, or a timing cover, or a hole in something. And I don't feel that it's guided in, so we're going to put a little pressure down on our belt. Now I felt it slip in, guaranteed. We'll grab this and we'll grab our torque wrench. Now that's just a tiny little bolt, so use your noodle. Definitely use a torque wrench. All right, I went ahead and torqued that. Just looking to make sure our belt is in all of its necessary groovage. It appears to be. Tight, 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 tight. Those are all the bolts we had out. Oh, and oh, it's very tight. All right, let's slip the air cleaner back in here and we'll call it a day. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get going in the morning. All right, there, Mr. Mehoff, we're gonna let you down a little. Very gently. Oh, dude. Let's calm down a little bit here. Very gently, just a little more. Oh, that's beautiful right there. Couple little pumps, boom. That is beautiful. Make sure all of these are started with our froners. Once they are, we will grab the 1/2" Oogie Doogie. Don't just wet. Easy. On motor mounts, if you're not going to look at the book and follow the exact process, line it all up with your old witness marks. You're right 50% of the time, every time if you do that. But I'm going to go look in service data, see what the process is, get the torque wrench, and get that snugged up to factory specs. Alright, let's pull old Jack out of here. Over there, Mr. Jack. We'll move the torque wrench. Grab the air box. Let's see. The old rubber there should be greasy enough to slip right back in. Just one, right? Yeah, just the one there, and this little donger that goes back in there. That bad boy under there. Ah, look at that, she slips right in. Plug in the mass air. Oops. What do we do with the little lock? This little lock of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Where'd it go? We'll find it. Don't worry. Probably right next to my torque wrench. Just off frame of the camera here. Wow, you think you could get a bigger screwdriver, fella? No, but you can get a longer one. Run what you brung, that's what this is all about. The screwdriver drawer is almost 4 feet behind me. That is torqued to spec, that's good. Everybody thinks I'm always lying. Well, that was easy, right? Contact. What's that mean? How come our fans are running on high? Usually that's when they set a trouble code against cooling system, AC. Oh yeah, intake air temp high, hybrid motor, mil requested, dry motor performance. I'm surprised it set the intake air temp code because we had the key off when we unplugged it. Making sure we're clean and green. Let me just recycle the key here. Contact. That sounds better, Rocco. All right, everybody's happy. Like I said, it's a pretty common issue on these. I'll take it for a rip around, but it's usually pretty obvious, so you get to squealing pretty good. There. No more nonsense. No more nonsense from you, Buick. Well, there you have it, folks. Belt tensioner. You didn't have to go through the whole rigmarole I did. I don't know why I didn't try putting it on a smooth pulley first, but like I say, it's too early in the day. Way too much coffee this morning. Just not clearly thinking. Clearly. I need to hook the air pump hose back up. Because again, we're not thinking. We're trying to wrap things up here. There, we'll shove it in the fresh air. I think that's a fresh air for that. Goes way down yonder somewhere. I assume there's an air pump on this car. Oof. I can tell you in a minute. I can't see it, but according to the emissions label, there's not. There's sequential fuel injection, heated oxygen sensors, and a 3-way catalyst. So I have no idea what that air pipe goes to at all. It goes way down underneath the vehicle to an air pump. Yes, this vehicle has secondary air injection. There's tubes on the back of the exhaust manifold. And that is an air diverter valve that hooks directly to the cylinder head. How come that doesn't say, oh. Here's your problem, lady. Let me show you. Let's see, 2012. That's a big 2.4. You come up here, it's got the upgrade. That's got the sticker for the 5.3 liter. The 2007 model. Okay, I was wondering because like I say, on your emissions label, usually it'll tell you if you have an air pump, right? But sequential fuel injection, oxygen sensor, three-way converter, catalyst system. But this is clearly not a 5.3. It'd be a lot of fun if it was, but it's not. So it must be she's been wrecked before and they took a hood off of something else. Off some 2007 apparently. I'm like the dog in the window, squirrel! We're off on another tangent. But that's interesting. I didn't know they made these with the 5.3s, but must be they do. Otherwise the hood wouldn't fit, right? Anyways, why don't you guys try to fit in with each other in that comment section. Insta, Facebook, that's where we're at. And just remember viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.